Chris, the Dating Doc, what is good? What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about Nick Cannon, aka Nick No Condom Cannon. Joke. Okay, we're going to talk about why he decided to have 7 kids with 4 different women. And I'm going to tell you from the jump, I actually agree with his reasoning. And I actually think that his reasoning predates the industry, the institution of marriage, especially when we talk about marriage used as a way to hold property in the human form. So let's get into it. So this is from TheDatingDoc, and it's titled Nick Cannon Reveals His Reasoning for Having 7 Kids with 4 Different Women. I'm going to paraphrase some of these parts of the article, and then I'm going to go in. So Nick Cannon has some thoughts for people who have criticized his approach to fatherhood, specifically having 7 children with 4 different women. So I'm going to skip over here and says, look, they're the ones making the choice. Women lead. In every scenario that I've had, I step back and say, how do you want this? All right, so from the jump, a lot of people, when it comes to whether it's sexual allegations or divorce or something, most of the time, especially with celebrities, they point to only one side of the story, one party. They never look at both sides of it, right? They never say, oh, this man cheated. I can't believe it. That's why they're getting divorced. Okay. And then meanwhile, behind the scenes, the woman was always involved in film, never gave no love. Maybe he needed physical touch. Maybe she was mentally abusive. I'm not saying every case, or vice versa. It was the man who wasn't showing that affection. He lost his swagger, and then the woman skipped out and started messing with someone else, right? So an entanglement. But going back to this, what Nick is saying is, look, these ladies had a choice too. It's not like he was bouncing around like a bunny just making kids. From the get-go, before the act, he would step back and say, how do you want this? Okay? How do you want to do this? I think that's very honorable. I think it's the right way to do it. A lot of unplanned pregnancies don't go that route. Cannon, 40 years old, said he thinks having one partner is an outdated concept. That's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the idea of you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life. He said, I understand the institution of marriage, but if we go back to what that is about, that was to classify property. Cannon continued, a father gave another man his daughter for land. And this is still going on. It is still going on in some third world countries where you have arranged marriages for resources, which is wild if you think about it, because those same countries will be like, for example, hey, I'm going to trade 3 cattle if I can get, if I can own half of your land, because I know y'all are starving and we need more land. But kind of a cousin to that is, hey, I want you to marry off my daughter because she came out beautiful, whatnot, but I'm going to treat her more like a property. So can I give her away for land or for resources or for money? But here's the thing is, we have free will now when it comes to dating and marriage. Any kind of relationship you can have out there. The problem is there's a lot of social judgment, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of hypocritical judgment. So it says here, it just goes in, you see some cute little pictures there of the kids. And I mean, if he's being a good dad, he's being a good dad. Bottom line, if he's being a provider and he's being the emotional support, why judge him? Right? So he says here, time is a man-made construct. He said, anybody who knows me, I'm at every basketball game, every martial art practice, and people don't understand how I do it, but my children are my priority. It's all about being present. And he confesses that he's always wanted 10 to 12 kids. I leave you with this quote because I think it's beautiful. I've learned so much just from my children, and it's so amazing. He said, I really just love being around my kids. Okay, so let's break this down real quick here. Like I said, he's a good father. So if we were to do kind of like the old school greater than, equal than, less than, in school, right? Where you compare two things and you look at what's greater than, less than, right? Nick Cannon having 7 kids with 4 different women, yet he is a loving, involved father, versus fat, out of shape, bored, but been married to the same woman for 10, 20 years and hardly sees his kids because he's always working. But they all live together, whatnot. Which one is greater than or less than? You tell me. Because there's a lot of judgment here, okay? There's a lot of step forward wives, right? Step forward wives. I'm talking like suburban mom judgment, virtue signaling. But here's the thing. This is why I agree with all this. Nick Cannon is showing that you can still be a vibrant, in shape, loving father. And shoot, he likes his variety. Obviously, he likes his variety. So in a way, you can have your cake and eat it too. The fact that these mothers know he's involved as a dad, but he got his. He got Mariah Carey. Come on now. Back in the days, now, I don't know about all that. But my point being is, how are you going to judge a loving, good father? He has no obligation, especially if this was planned and discussed. He has no obligation to stay with these women if it said, you know what, I really don't want anything with you. Yes, he's a player, but he's a player who's also a good father. This is Chris, the Dating Doc. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Signing out. Peace.